There we go. Dr. Scythe, do you realize what you're saying, woman? It's all true. That day, when I arrived at the Crystal Tower and saw the birdcage, my heart nearly stopped beating. That memory from a decade ago that I had done my best to bury deep inside myself. It was the professor again, staring me in the face. And then, before I had a chance to react, I noticed something else. There was a note tucked inside the model's jacket. Dr. Scythe, you will go along with my plan. From someone who knows the truth about what really happened that night 10 years ago. All the instructions were there in the note. Every detail was meticulously written out. I had no choice but to do what it said. I made the necessary alterations to the scene and fabricated the autopsy report as instructed. There was really no other choice. It had to be done to protect the judiciary. I can only apologize now. Why on earth would you buckle now? Well, there's no point trying to hide it anymore, is there? I would have done anything to stop it coming out, even collaborate in a murder. But the great lie about the execution 10 years ago has been exposed. Whatever happens, I'm finished. So then, Mr. Drebber, what do you say to that? Your accomplice has admitted everything. Surely, it goes without saying. You admit your part in it too, then? I admit nothing at all. What? Have you forgotten that the kinesis machine was ripped to shreds by an explosion? Short of me admitting to a crime, there's really no possible way for you to prove I did anything wrong. No! Order! Order! Whatever this man says, I admit everything. He threatened to expose my secrets, so I went along with his plan. And Lord Van Zieks. Yes. I hope you'll accept my apologies. What happens next is in your hands, of course. I have heard more than enough now. I hereby present the final findings of this court. This trial is not the proper forum in which to pursue the alleged wrongdoings of Mr. Drebber. The defendant is Professor Albert Harebrain. Very true. It had slipped my mind. Isn't he one of your closest friends? As the court has heard, Dr. Scythe has admitted to the allegations brought by the defense, thereby absolving the defendant of any possible guilt. You mean? At the present time, it is the conclusion of this court that the defendant was not involved in any wrongdoing. Does the prosecution have any objection? None, my lord. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. You've proven Professor Harebrain's innocence. Without further ado, then, the adjudication. Unless the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss. I don't know. This doesn't feel quite right. Why did Dr. Scythe suddenly admit to it like that? Is everything all right, Miss Naruhodo? Like you said before, the way the trial is set to end now, the judge will certainly deliver a verdict of not guilty. But is that really what we want? What the defense should be pushing for now is... Further testimony! Fuck you! Follow the truth like the dogs we are.
Objection!
The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord. I beg your pardon? We demand one final testimony. What? You do realize I'm about to adjudicate in favor of your client, I presume? What are you playing at now, my Nipponese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point? No defense lawyer in his right mind would do that. Mr. Naruhodo, what exactly are you thinking? The truth. The whole truth, and a way to bring it all out in the open. Right! Yes, in hindsight. Ah yes, one word of warning before I go. If in the course of the trial this afternoon you perceive even a shadow of doubts about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter whatever may come to pass. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes knew. He must have deduced that this would happen. Yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client, and to secure an acquittal. Obviously. But that's not all. I believe that I have a duty to the court to pursue the whole truth of the case until every last detail is laid bare. And that is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Scythe. Testimony from me? About what? About the nature of your collaboration with Mr. Enoch Drebber. Huh. In case this escaped your attention, I've already admitted to everything I did. The whole truth has already been revealed. So stop wasting everyone's time. As his lordship made very plain, your client will get the acquittal you wanted for him. There's simply no point protracting this business further with another tedious cross-examination. Pachoom! Pray forgive my careless handling of that hallowed bottle. I slipped. That's what you call it? What is your objection, Lord Van Zieks? The prosecution also called for supplementary testimony from the witness. Don't be stupid. If there is more to this case than has yet come to light, then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts until the bitter end. Yo, what? Lord Van Zieks. This is most irregular, to say the least. However, as the prosecution also calls for it, I will uphold the request. Dr. Scythe, you will testify for the court, explain the full extent of your involvement in the murder apparently committed by Mr. Drebber. Aye. Very well. Just gonna, real quick, my stream preview thing was still busted from earlier, so I'm fixing that now. Okay, alright, we're all back up. The waxwork plot. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside its jacket. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it. So I was right. The stage and the machine were all specially designed for the deception. So it seems. And all meticulously prepared. You did well to see through it. You're a very shrewd boy. So kind of you to say. And what about this autopsy report then? All I did was record the location of the body as being the Crystal Tower instead of under the stage. That's all? That's a terrible corruption! Only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only under my explicit instructions. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you. We must be thankful for the small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for cross-examination, I would say. No, I disagree. I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Just look at that expression on Dr. Scythe's face. It's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony. What is it about you Japanese that makes you all so doggedly persistent? Very well. If you so desire, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. The waxwork plot. I'm gonna press this one. Press everything, because I'm not sure where to go from here. From what you described before, it sounds like the note was anonymous. Did you have any idea of who was behind it? There are very few people to know about what really happened 10 years ago to start with. But anyway, I'd never heard of this engineer. So no, I had no idea. Yet despite not knowing who's behind the plan, you went along with it? I had no choice. Protecting the professor's secret was my only concern. But the horse has bolted now, and the stable door will never shut again. Scotland Yard's reputation will be immeasurably damaged as a result of all this. Yes, thank you, Lord Van Zieks. I'm well aware of that. So as I understand it, what you found in the birdcage was the waxwork model. Where, then, was the victim's body? The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. So you knew about the special construction of the stage used to carry out the trick, then? It was quite obvious what had happened with the victim and the waxwork. And you switched the two over, didn't you? In other words, you recorded the victim's bodies having been discovered in the Crystal Tower. And the waxwork? I wrapped it and sent it by carriage to the specified address at the specified time. And why were you given such directions? Presumably so it could be recovered by Drebber and returned to Madame Tispel's. I see. You put the birdcage back on the experimentation stage. Yes, although someone obviously made a mistake about which cage should go where. I thought I'd made it perfectly clear to the team, but still. I suppose you were focused on the victim's body, that being a more important detail. But it had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant. Hold it! When you say arranged, I presume you mean with this. Yes, the instructions in the engineer's note said something along the lines of fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Asman. So you mean that was your doing? I fetched Hairbrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage and took it with me, alone, to the abyss under the stage where the birdcage had fallen. Alone, Doctor? I didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in that particular part of the deception. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. I approached it, leaned down, and slowly opened it up. Then I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it in the man's chest. And then you noted that in your fake autopsy report as a fictitious cause of death. Exactly. So the actual cause of death was the trauma resulting from the 30-foot drop. Oh my word. What is it, Mrs. Otto? Something about Dr. Scythe's last statement is playing on my mind, that's all. Yes, mine too. Dr. Scythe? There's really no need to shout. I can hear you perfectly well. The defense calls for you to add what you just said to your formal testimony. Oh, which part? What I want her to supplement her testimony with is... I think it should be what she did. No, not that. Affected by sharp movements, broken vertebra is like a result of impact after sudden fall from a considerable height. I think we should include what she did. Because it doesn't matter if it's the... She said it was the trauma, and that's also what's noted on the report. So what about what you did? How you stabbed Mr. Asman in the chest. That part. Fine, if that's what you want. But there's really no need to point. The prosecution concurs. The glare that she gave. Very well, you'll supplement your testimony now, witness. If you wish, my lord. I settled the victim's corpse where it lay in the toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. So it was you who stabbed Asmund with this? Yes, far easier than dissection, I assure you. No precision required. What a welcome change. The victim died instantly from a snapped neck. All I did was carry out the instructions I'd been given. As unflinchingly as ever, no doubt. I imagine you didn't bat an eyelid when you drove the weapon into his body. There was no need to bat my eyelids. And what else did you do to twist the facts? Remind the court, why don't you? If you wish. Hold it! This will help the entire forensic team appropriately. The entire team in perverting the course of justice? My team consists of the very best investigators there are. I demand loyalty from all members. We operate on a code of chivalry of sorts. You aid and abet a murderer, commit perjury, and dare to talk of chivalry? It was a matter of priorities. What? Nothing was more important than protecting the secret of the professor. My team did what was necessary without losing sight of the primary goal. I consider their conduct exemplary. Don't concede the point, Mr. Naruhodo. You mustn't let her win. I need a lawyer. I'll take that silence as a tacit acceptance. Now, can we move on? The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I have to protect it. But at what cost? Faith in Scotland Yard is going to suffer a terrible blow as a result of this. And your precious secret is out now, anyway. Yes, as you say. And I take full responsibility. Blow me down, Dr. Scythe! Sure there was some other way you could have protected the secret. No, there really wasn't. I've done my utmost, believe me. In many ways, I respect your determination. Whew, I nearly froze under that cold stare as she said that. I do believe she's being genuine though, Mr. Naruhodo. So that's her story. She's admitted everything and revealed her full involvement in the crime. I do wonder if there could really be much more to it. Well, I don't know, but I just have a feeling. To you, Mr. Naruhodo? The truth is, I find it strange too. How those two are reacting to this in completely opposite ways, I mean. Yes, exactly. For some reason, I feel sure they're still trying to hide something. My hunch was like what she did was the stabbing, right? Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart inflicted by a sharp implement. Broken bird almost likely was an impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. Do we present this again because it fell at the base? Like, it wouldn't make sense. I wonder if there's going to be a blood splatter there. Probably not, because we can't examine it. I've already examined the bottom that's been all roughed up. A very distinctive handle. It's got blood on it. Here, let's not present. Let's just see what the other statement would be. And what you did with this, correct? I was merely carrying out the engineer's instructions, in his words. Fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Asmund. And so you went without any of your team to where Asmund had fallen. That's right, yes. I leaned down over the birdcage and opened it up. And then I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. After that, it was simply a matter of recording the stab wound as the cause of death on the autopsy report. The real cause of death being the fall, of course. I'm sure there's something here in this testimony. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. We didn't... Why would it have been moved to the grill in the base of the kinesis machine? Because it was already in him? Before? No, because everybody on the stage would have seen it. That only implicates that Dr. Hairbrain. Why would she have stabbed him at the bottom, but it would have been on the grill of the machine? That could be it. Yeah, I think it would be appropriate. I'm sure you could ask Dr. Scythe to change the supplementary testimony she gave before. What should I ask her to do with the statement she added? Let's have her change it just to see the other version. Dr. Scythe, what you said before about the real cause of death, I believe that may be significant, so could you change your supplementary statement to explain that instead? Very well. The actual cause of death was the neck trauma Asmund suffered from the 30-foot fall. You're quite sure of that? It was as a result of a broken neck. Yes, as a professional, that was more than apparent. You'd never know just by looking at the photograph of the victim, though, would you? No, that's very true. Obviously not. Which is precisely why coroners are needed to determine the actual facts. Yes, assuming they can be trusted. There's no point calling her assessment into question without evidence. Let's get back to the testimony. Very well.
Poking through the grill in the base of what remains of the kinesis machine. If she stabbed him, are we supposed to get her on like when she planted it, the screwdriver? Sudden fall from considerable height. Emergency wound into the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. She just said that she listed as the fake cause of death. I think I'm gonna change it back to the other one and go from there. You know what to do with this. She opened it up, took a screwdriver, plunged it into his chest. Have her change it to what she did.
Dr. Scythe, what you said before about what you did to the victim's body, I believe that may be significant, so could you change your supplementary statement to explain that instead? Very well.
Start with the victim's course, relating to the top cage and plunge a screwdriver into the chest. Let's see if I'm on the right track or not. Of course, we gotta do our save scumming just in case. Alright. Because it was found at the top of the stage, not at the bottom.
Objection!
Okay, the music didn't stop, so that was wrong. Yeah, okay. Plunge a screwdriver into the chest. Is it that we don't see? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's definitely on there. I mean, with this cage here, you don't see the blood stain. You don't see the blood stain on the strap. Like you do here. This has to be the right. Okay, I'm switching it back to the other one.
Hold it!
Do. Screwdriver in his hand, stabbed it in the chest. Real cause of death being the fall. Change the statement. Or what if I mean, they already mentioned the photograph in the talking, though.
Objection!
Autopsy report here. No. Okay, yep. Alright, what about... Very distinctive handle. What about the birdcage?
Objection!
No. Okay. Alright, we're gonna load where we were. I don't know what angle I'm supposed to be taking with her here. Why am I getting stuck on this? Slid over the victim's corpse where it lay in the top of the cage and placed a screwdriver into the chest. Don't open by the explosion, that's where it dropped. Did I already try presenting the photo on this statement?
Objection!
What am I supposed to be proving here? That his neck doesn't look broken even though he said that in the text when we pressed? Okay. Or, oh, maybe with the photo it shows the glass and she didn't stab him there. She stabbed him when they moved the body. So then when did he die? Maybe that's it. That's reasonable then.
I've got a nasty feeling that this inconsistency points to an extremely uncomfortable truth.
Is this a new objection theme? I like this quiet start to it. Okay, this is really good. Why is the music in this game so fucking insane? Alright, I think it's looped at this point. Or no, it has not. God, that is good. What on earth is the matter, Counsel? Have you lost your tongue?
I apologize, my lord. Dr. Scythe, in that last statement of yours, there's just one point that seems to defy explanation. Out with it, my learned friend. There is an obvious inconsistency between your description and this photograph, which shows the victim in the birdcage following the events that led to his death.
Objection!
The court has already examined that photograph in depth. There's nothing new we can learn from it. Yes, we've already considered it. That's true. But we now know the facts to be different. What do you mean? I believe we should let the defense explain. Where in this photograph did we see the alleged inconsistency with the witness's statement? Is it the glass? Like, the photo couldn't have been taken at the Crystal Tower, but the glass says that it was?
Take that!
Point that makes no sense is the one being made at this very moment by your index finger. Huh? Roving eyes and wavering hand undermine the bold words you started with. And if you're looking for something that makes no sense, you're pointing the wrong way.
Apparently, the victim was lying dead in the birdcage when Dr. Sykes stabbed him in the chest. That was the essence of her testimony.
I know, and hearing that is when I thought, got it. But then somehow I lost my train of thought at the last moment, and it turned into a not it.
Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sure if you try again, it will turn back into a got it.
I believe we should let the defense explain. Is it the blood splatter? Like, if he was already dead, it wouldn't have splattered?
Take that!
Look closely at the bloodstain on the victim's chest. It clearly extends into a downwards direction towards the man's feet. And why is that significant, counsel? If the victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected. Oh no, that was the judge saying that. If the victim was stabbed moments before the kinesis machine was set in motion, that's entirely expected. Of course, no, that's not what happened. Exactly, my lord. Dr. Sykes made it very clear in a testimony just now that the point at which she stole Professor Harebrain's screwdriver and stabbed the victim was after the grand deception was set in motion, when the birdcage had fallen below the stage out of sight. From the shape of it, it's clear that the birdcage would have fallen on its side after the 30-foot drop. If the victim had really been stabbed whilst inside the birdcage in that position, the blood from the wound would have spread out equally in all directions. For it to have formed the longitudinal appearance we see in the picture is inconceivable. Ugh. Given that the victim's blood seeped vertically downwards from the wound, it must be the case that when you stabbed Mr. Asmund, he was standing up. In short, Dr. Scythe, your latest testimony was a total fabrication.
No, I got the big one. Okay.
I knew it. I was right. Now I've identified that contradiction. There's only one way to explain the facts. We've all been under a great misapprehension here. What? What sort of misapprehension? Dr. Scythe. You claim you're coerced into helping Mr. Drebber as a result of the note he left in the waxwork. You claim that you made changes to the scene of the crime to implicate the defendant, and you claim that you authored a fake autopsy report to cover your tracks. But one of those claims is an out-and-out lie, because the question of what the bloodstain really tells us has only one possible answer. If that is the case, what is it, man? Counsel, you've clearly struck upon a revelation. Now tell the court what it is. Which part of Dr. Sykes' story is shown to be a lie by the contradiction in her testimony?
The stabbing, right? The autopsy report, he did die from the stab, is what we're convinced of, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if the note was what she got the instructions from. But the actual stabbing, she didn't stab him on the ground.
The answer is very simple if you consider the sequence of events. If, when the victim was stabbed, the blood from the wound seeped downwards as it did, we can be sure that the victim must have been either sitting or standing upright at the time. But as you rightly pointed out, the birdcage would have fallen on its side when it fell beneath the stage. Yes, it would, which tells us that the victim must have been in that position of his own accord.
Objection!
That's impossible! The man was dead, remember? No! That is the misapprehension! When the birdcage fell from the stage into the void below, it must have hit the ground with considerable force. But Mr. Asman didn't die in the fall. He probably lost consciousness for a while, but when he came round, he got to his feet to climb out of the cage. Just as Dr. Scythe appeared. If the victim was in fact alive at that point in time, it changes everything. Mr. Odiasman's killer wasn't the defendant, Professor Albert Hairbrain, nor was it the mastermind behind the stage's trickery, Mr. Enoch Drebber. It was you, Dr. Courtney Scythe. Order! Order! Can this possibly be true? Have you been taking me for a fool? It was you, was it? You killed him? You hoped by admitting to be an accomplice in Mr. Drebber's scheme, the trial would end before you were accused of a far worse crime. Cold-blooded murder. Oh, do shut up! You're so desperate now you're making all this up, as if I would do something like that.
I assure you the defense is not desperate, Doctor. Mr. Naruhodo has established the facts using evidence and logic alone.
Huh. Logic? Don't make me laugh. Sadly, your logic has a gaping hole in it. What? What do you mean? I'd have thought it was obvious. A motive, boy. You're lacking a motive. What possible reason would I have to kill Mr. Asman? Asman was involved in any number of criminal activities, from coercion to theft to murder, but there is no known connection to Dr. Scythe there. I'm rather relieved to say it does seem somewhat far-fetched. True, there's no obvious motive, but there's still something in the back of my mind. I feel sure I've seen something somewhere that hints at why the coroner might have done this. Yes, I might have tampered with the crime scene and concocted a fake report, but murdering someone for no reason is a very different story. No, when you question what possible reason you could have for wanting to kill Mr. Asman, something did come to mind. What? What was it, Counsel? Enlighten the court at once.
Is it the 500 scalpels? Who are they buying it from?
Yes, we saw it yesterday, didn't we? Something that seemed strange, but we had no reason to suspect it at the time. There's a particular object that explains why Dr. Scythe would have wanted to kill Mr. Asman.
Scalpels, I think.
It's a scalpel. Or rather, scalpels. Did you say scalpels? It would appear that word has struck a chord, Doctor. You. Come on, out with it. It was yesterday when we visited your laboratory. Look at this big, thick book here.
Oh, it appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record for the forensic investigation team's spending, I think.
Oh, what is it?
It's clear that the team purchased various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but, well, one entry seems rather strange.
Really? In what way?
They're buying 500 scalpels every month.
$500 scalpels a month? At first, I wondered what on earth you could be using that many scalpels for. But actually, I realize now it's not the scalpels themselves that are significant. It's the money for them, disappearing every month from the department's accounts. Asman's criminal organization relied heavily on extortion for its funding, tracing the money from the forensic investigation team's account to find out where it was going would be extremely straightforward. 10 years ago, Mr. Asman was still a journalist and wrote this article about Mr. Drebber. He may well have stumbled upon information as he was researching the story. Information relating to Dr. Scythe's darkest secret that he would use to rack money from her for the next decade. Her darkest secret? Good lord, you mean? I don't know what happened on the night of that execution 10 years ago, but clearly the opportunity to rid yourself of that menace was too tempting to pass up. So in the end, you weren't coerced at all, were you? You did it entirely of your own free will. You stabbed Mr. Asmund in the heart with all your might. To silence the blackmailer who knew your darkest secret forever. You'll never understand. None of you. What we've had to keep covered up all these long years.
I think that did it.
As very little of the machine remains after it was ripped apart by the bomb, the truth of this case can never be properly established unless you speak out.
And if you decide not to, it's very possible that Courtney Scythe will escape punishment for her crimes. Please, sir, own up to what you've done and tell the court the truth about what happened.
10 years ago, you told the truth, and you were robbed of a bright and successful future as a result. I can certainly understand your bitterness and your consternation now. However, this is surely the chance you've been waiting for, to sever the hold that fate's had over you all these years. Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. I mean, really. It's the addle-brained mock scientists that are the worst, you know. They don't recognize the fact that they don't have talent. They can't even get that right. And so they end up chasing impossible dreams, having unbridled faith in their abilities. They go on and on about their wonderful hypotheses, their stupid eyes shining like a little child's. They make me sick. I can't abide their foolishness. Careful, Mr. Drebber. I was particularly pleased with the kinesis machine. It made for quite a show, didn't it? So you admit it. You admit that it was nothing more than a sham made for the purpose of killing the victim. Yes, I admit it. I did it all, in the name of revenge. Revenge for the future that Mr. Asmund's article had deprived you of 10 years earlier. But the revenge you sought didn't stop at Asmund, did it? Which is where that very particular waxwork comes in. Yes, I see.
The condemned convict that you saw rising from the grave in Lowgate Cemetery 10 years ago. If your account of those events was all true.
Then obviously Scotland Yard couldn't afford to acknowledge what had happened. Even if it meant discrediting a bright young man and crushing any future career he might have had. So your plan required that you abduct that particular waxwork model in order to exact your revenge on Scotland Yard as well, or on Dr. Scythe to be precise. It was a year ago. By some extraordinary twist of fate, Asmund turned up at my workshop. He didn't remember who I was, of course. He just wanted to employ my services as an engineer. And he happened to have a paper with him. An article on the front page caught my eye about the coroner who'd handled that bogus autopsy being appointed head of a new forensic team. When I learned that news, my cognitive processes started to devise the plan. What a horrid tale. He robbed me of my future, so I wanted to use the man's own wiles against him, for revenge, and have that rotten Scotland Yard eating out of my hand at the same time. I wanted them all to suffer the same humiliation I'd had to suffer. Your actions against those who'd ruined your future were justified as revenge, at least to yourself. Certainly, no one has the right to destroy another's prospects, especially for purely selfish gain. And yet, In carrying out your plan, you did exactly that to someone else, didn't you? Did I? Professor Harebrain's only crime was passion for his hypothesis, but you had no compunction about sacrificing his future to effect your revenge. You knew that he would be forever branded a failure and a fraud. Perhaps life treated you unfairly 10 years ago, and others' misconduct left your life in tatters. But remember this. Your own actions resulted in exactly the same thing for another perfectly innocent young man. I...
Not even any big breakdown or anything like that. Interesting.
Lord Van Zieks, what of Dr. Scythe? An immediate warrant for her arrest has been granted, and she's been remanded in custody, my lord. I presume she will face trial in the coming days, along with Mr. Drebber. A most regrettable situation indeed. She's made great contributions to her profession over the years. It really is a hard truth to swallow. However, that is a topic for some future occasion. For now, Professor Harebrain. Oh, yes? Seems there's a great deal more to experiment than you realized. However, I think we can assume now that all the sordid details have been brought to light. This has been a very long and profound trial, but I'm pleased to say you are absolved of all guilt. This whole experience taught me a very great but painful lesson. This dedicated scientist, this devotee of natural philosophy, I've been selfish and self-centered, and above all, a fool. Professor. I've spent my life thinking of nothing but my research, misguidedly believing that I could do whatever I set my mind to, despite my lack of talent. And the worst of it is, in the process, I've caused others pain and misery, others who are far, far greater people than I. No, Professor, that's not true. What? Don't tar yourself with the same brush as Drebber. What happened was his doing and his alone. This outcome is his fate, not yours. You're not to blame in any way. Lord Van Zieks, and the derision with which he referred to you earlier, calling you a fool, talentless even. The man has no idea. To believe in yourself and work your fingers to the bone to realize your dreams, that's laudable, not laughable. No one has the right to deride another for such choices. Oh. Thank you, Beric. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. It is this court's expectation that you find the defendant not guilty of the charge of which he stands accused. I presume there are no objections. None from me, my lord?
Certainly not.
This trial has really made me think, but this is the right decision. It's all been proven methodically and vigorously. I have no misgivings whatsoever.
Oh, what's that? He's done, is he? It's all over?
I don't know what's become of the yard these days. I don't recognize the place. Very well. In that case, I hereby pronounce the defendant not guilty! Woo woo! That was more difficult than it had any right to be. I don't know if I was just dropping the ball or what on that one. Court is adjourned. It's over. That was some trial. "24th of October, 4:33 p.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber." Professor, what a splendid outcome, isn't it?
Oh, it is, it is! Congratulations, Professor Harebrain! Miss Naruhodo, Mrs. Otto, I am truly, truly beside myself with gratitude. How can I ever thank you enough?
I'm just glad it's all been cleared up, that you realize you were just caught up in a bad situation.
Right now, if I had that research grant money, I'd give the whole lot to you, every penny.
Well, that's very kind, but I'm just a student, so...
We don't need any financial reward. Your acquittal is more than enough. Oh dear, what can I do? Aha! How about this as a memento? The paper about my hypothesis is inside.
Well, just as a memento then. Thank you.
I've been wondering, Professor, what are you going to do now? Oh, yes. What am I going to do? My hypothesis and my great machine lie in ruins. But still, it's been too long since I was last in London, so perhaps I'll enjoy some sightseeing. I must explore the Great Exhibition whilst I'm here, too, and see if new inspiration hits me. Oh yes, that's a wonderful idea! I can't allow that.
Oh, hi, Barrick. Lord Van Zeeks, what are you doing in here?
Barrick!
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Albert.
Well, if I'm honest, it was terrifying. You were like a great demon behind your bench there, snarling down on your prey.
You're one of the few true friends I have. I couldn't leave it to anybody else to handle the prosecution or the defense.
Sorry?
Or the defense? Did I just hear that right?
I always knew that you have my best interest at heart. Don't worry. Oh, how about you show me around while I'm here in town? It's been a long time since we left university. We have a lot to catch up on.
Listen, Albert. In a few days, your acquittal will be made official. When that happens, you must head straight to Dover. I'll accompany you.
What?
From there, you'll cross the channel and make your way back to Germany. I've already purchased the tickets.
But no! Hold on a minute, Barrick. What about the Great Exhibition? This is the chance of a lifetime for me. I want to look around.
No. No sightseeing, Albert. Give up on the idea.
Oh. Sometimes it's hard to see any warmth in those eyes, Barrick.
Lord Van Zeeks. What's all this about? Unnecessary precaution.
Yes, I think I understand.
You do?
Well, Iris told me that when you met Lord Van Zeeks at his office some days ago, he asked how Mr. Natsume was doing.
Yes, that's right. I remember being surprised at the time and thinking it was nice of him to ask.
The point is, Mr. Natsume is still alive and well, even though it's been more than 6 months now since he stood trial with the Reaper as the prosecutor.
You mean the Reaper's influence doesn't stretch overseas? Those in the Reaper's sights meet their ends days or sometimes months after their acquittal. And that's been the pattern up to now.
But of course, we know that both Mr. Natsume and Gina were completely innocent.
True. And perhaps that governs the Reaper's actions. The truly innocent are spared. But I don't want to take any chances with a close personal friend.
But Barrick...
Like the mustached Nipponese, this man should leave the country without delay. That's why. I'm packing him off to Germany at once. Right. Does your friend-shaped package get any say in it?
Goodness, was this your intention all along then, Lord Van Zeeks?
In court, where people think of him as the Reaper, this man seems absolutely merciless. And yet, sometimes I feel as though I don't understand him at all. It's time to go, Albert. Back to prison for the time being.
Ah, yes, all right. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you so much for everything.
Not at all, Professor. It was a pleasure getting to know you.
Best wishes, Professor Hairbrain. Well, once the dust is settled, you must come and visit me in Germany. Anyway, goodbye for now.
Now, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes? I thought you'd gone too. We have matters to discuss. Can you spare me some time? You want to talk with me? I'll be waiting in the courtroom in 10 minutes.
Fellas, is it gay to go out of your way to request some time with the defense attorney right after saying you couldn't rely on anybody else to protect your closest friend?
Well, that was strange. For some reason, I didn't get that sense of impending doom as he walked away this time. The enigma, Beric von Zieks. What does he want to discuss, I wonder? The answer awaits in the courtroom, I suppose. Here goes then.
Please tell me he's gonna be alive. I don't want him dead, racist he is. 24th of October, 4:58 p.m. the Old Bailey courtroom. Okay, he's alive. He's standing. Alright, we're good.
So, are you satisfied? You saved a guileless scientist from a great injustice. Yes, I think so. I'm relieved at least that the man's innocence could be proven. Anyway, I imagine you've been wondering where my animosity towards you Nipponese comes from. Well, at first I thought you just didn't like me. I imagined you saw me as a pretentious child from an unimportant land who had no business being here. But now I think differently. You clearly know our ways, so I would guess that some specific incident led to your thorough dislike of my race. Will you tell me what happened, please? The professor. I thought I'd never hear that name in this courtroom again, to be honest.
He took your brother's life.
Clint. My brother was Clint Van Zieks. 16 years ago, when I was still just in my teens, he was already the director of prosecutions and a key member of the judiciary.
Can I just say, this theme is also very fucking good. It's like such like ghost story vibes, you know? I don't know like what sort of chime or xylophone they're using to get this tone, but it's excellent.
I looked up to him. He was everything I aspired to be. He was involved in the establishment of justice systems in foreign countries as well. There were exchange programs between Britain and other nations then too, to share knowledge and ideas. As part of one of those programs, 3 judicial students came to Britain from your homeland, the Empire of Japan.
Oh, if it was 16 years ago, then one of them could have been my father.
Of course, I remember Dr. Mikotoba well.
I had no idea.
I was a minor at the time, training at the prosecutor's office. One day, Clint introduced me to the 3 visiting Nipponese.
So you've actually met my father?
He and his colleagues were polite and amicable. They were adept at their work and exacting in their standards. It was my first encounter with the Nipponese spirit, and it made a very great impression upon me. But 6 years later, that's when it happened. The investigation was going nowhere. There were no suspects even, just an ever-growing list of victims. And in the end, my brother became one of them. The last, in fact, before the case was finally resolved. I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zieks. Truly. Clint was always ready to put his life on the line for justice anyway, so he wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He lost his life to the killer, but it was his victory in the end. For me personally, though, it was a great loss. I found myself in a very dark place indeed. When I finally found out the killer's identity, the reason why no one had been able to catch the man sooner ceased to be a mystery. He'd been hiding in plain sight all that time. In plain sight? Are you aware of political events 10 years ago? It was a period of extremely sensitive diplomacy between the British and Japanese empires. A new treaty was being forged, I think. Correct. The Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation was being concluded. The leaders of both countries were deep in extensive political discussions. Which is why this particular killer's appearance in court was conducted as a closed trial. If the British public hadn't known the identity of the killer, not only would the treaty have been in jeopardy, but our two nations could very well have ended up at war. What? A war between Britain and Japan?
But that would mean...
Oh my, you mean to say that the professor was...
When the trial reached its conclusion
Ooh.
earlier, I thought to myself, yes, it's time. Time for you to come face to face with this hideous monster. I borrowed the key for the mask
I didn't think it
from the
actually was.
proprietress of the Waxwork Museum. So see for yourselves now. Confirm it with your own eyes. The truth that's been hidden this past decade.
Yeah, he's got the key. Welcome back, Shul.
That's the professor?
Yes, that's him.
Until now, the thought never even crossed my mind. That the mass murderer, whose crimes shook Britain as never before, was Japanese.
Wait a minute. That face. I feel as though I've seen it somewhere. It's strangely familiar.
Uh-oh. Cosmo, are you okay? I mean, technically... Oh no.
He's not okay.
Father.
Oh!
What? Father? Kazuma!
Okay, so these two were right on the money then. I was assuming they
My
were meant
best
to be
friend,
right.
Kazuma Asogi. After a whole year, finally his memories returned. As he stood there before me. Ryunosuke. Hello again. My friend.
Kazuma-sama!
Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. It's been a very long road. Thank you. Thank you for guiding my friend here when I could not.
It was an honor.
I really cannot imagine what
I knew
Barrack
you
Frenzy
wouldn't
is
die that
thinking right
easily.
now.
Kazuma.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, go to bed, Shul. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you being here. Again, sorry for all the technical issues earlier. I don't know what was happening, but I'm glad I fixed it. Get some sleep. Bye-bye.
I owe you thanks, too, for taking good care of that in my absence. Oh. Karuma, the great blade of the Asogi clan, passed down through the generations. When we left Japan, this sword was at my friend's side. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. He couldn't be parted from it. But then, when the incident happened, it was Susato-san's wish that I inherit the sword, and I've kept it with me ever since, along with my memories of the friendship we shared. With this by my side, I always felt that you were watching over me somehow.
Is he just gonna have two swords now? Or they just disappear the
I've
other
made
one?
At last.
Father, are you saying... Surely not. You mean, you knew all this time? I'm looking at it, but I still can't believe it. This mass murderer is Kazuma's father.
Wait, that's public property! Well, she said she'd have to close the exhibit anyway. Okay, never mind. Continue on, Kazuma.
Kazuma-sama.
They are giving him two swords, by the way. This man is the most
Ryunosuke.
badass motherfucker to exist. I'm actually thinking, like, how many other Ace Attorney characters actually have weapons on them? Not many. Well, it's not like he can use both of them at once anyway, so... Okay. And anybody with a gun would probably automatically beat him. Nothing a katana can do against Bang Bang.
We have much to talk about, but now is not the time.
Right. The Elder Von Karma. He has the taser.
I'll be seeing you.
And yes, she could disarm with the whip. That was the 3.5 special, wasn't it? Okay, but could the Elder Von Karma get close enough to tase him before he just hit him with a fucking katana? I don't think he could.
That's all Kazuma said. Before he turned and left us there, in the courtroom.
Oh, Van Zeke's just sitting here like, damn, these guys are so dramatic. So he's the living afterimage of the man who took my brother's life, is he? Yes, Kazuma Asugi, my best friend. 3 months ago when Lord Strongheart introduced us, I had an inkling there was something there. Some connection. But why did Lord Strongheart do that? Why did he make Kazuma Lord Van Zeke's apprentice? And when he was suffering amnesia, too? The man was apprehended, even executed, but his legacy just won't die. That's the sad truth. Anyway, that's all I had to say. And I thank you for meeting with me as I asked. And there he goes. "10 years ago, my grandmother took me to the railway station. We were there to meet my father from the train. For me, it was the first time I'd ever seen him." Poor Susato-san, all this is tied up with painful memories for her too. She's never talked about this with me before, though. It took time to just having father around, but just when I was starting to get used to it, he called me into his study one day. He told me that a great friend of his had passed away in London, and that the friend had left behind his son. A boy 7 years my senior. Father told me the boy had made a promise to his late father, so he was studying to become a defense lawyer. I wanted to help, so I studied to become a qualified judicial assistant. As I'm sure you worked out, that young man's name was Kazuma Asugi. So you see, that's how you and I met.
For a brief moment, my great friend had returned, only to disappear again all too soon. But in that fleeting encounter, something stirred. Something that had been dormant for a long time, as if great wheels had been set in motion. I could almost hear them creaking into life. In some ways, it was the end of a chapter, but in many, it was the start of a new one.
Yay, we made it! We're alive! Barely. It took a lot of save scumming, but we made it. A twisted karma and his last bow. Okay. It's indeed a most bizarre incident born of a curious advertisement and a commonplace killing at the edge of town. Twisted karma and his last bow.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
God, how many layers of, like, previous cases are we gonna be on by the end of this game?
8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Cosmo regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel.
Ooh, this is fancy.
The 1st of November, 10:24 a.m., the Great Waterloo Hotel foyer.
Foyer? Oh, maybe it's foyer. It's meant to be French, right?
Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment.
Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time.
Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised.
The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew?
That he was actually the masked murderer, the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they?
Yes, that's true.
Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well?
That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it.
That probably means he knows then. About Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now.
Ah, there she is. There they are! Oh my god. The judge looks so good in that suit. Hello? That is a killer look. It needs a bit more red. Like, I would love to see some sort of, like, I don't know, just maybe like some sort of, I think red pinstripes would be way too mafia-esque, but like just something, because I really like the red tie, cravat maybe that he has there. But I feel like it needs something else. Maybe like a hat with a red ribbon on it. That would be really cool. Oh, Father!
Hello, Susato, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound.
Hello, Miss Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to greet us here. Oh, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? Why do you feel as though I've seen him before? I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. Oh, in that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go, then. I hereby pronounce the defendant Ryunosuke Naruhodo guilty. Oh! You're... The courts will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Your Excellency!
Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Ah ha ha ha! Good, you remember now. That really did the trick. Guilty! Ah ha ha ha! Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. And neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? Why do you talk about Eugene? Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He is the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at this border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. Yeah, you didn't have to go through any of that, did you? I knew you were jealous. He laughs so much. I like this characterization for him. Sorry, ministerial status? Oh yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal assistance that allowed you to take Cosmo's place here on this study tour. Guilty as charged! Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Oh yes, now, Naruhodo, I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes. Could you tell us any more about it?
Firstly, let's examine the place. Gotta look at the fancy hotel.
Look at that. It's a picture of the Crystal Tower.
Well, the Great Exhibition is one of Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways.
There's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near our lodgings at Yume University. The attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood.
I'm sure. Did you know that over the channel in Paris, there's a tower that's 300 meters tall?
What? How many times taller than the chimney at Yume Soaking Hot Springs is that? If it's that tall, how does it draw properly? Smoke would get stuck, surely.
I don't think it's that sort of tower, Miss Naruhodo. Not the fireplace, the table, the luggage? No. Pillars, chandelier.
Have you seen all those sparkling jewels up there? They must have gathered every gem in the world for that.
Ah, it's called a chandelier, I believe. It's designed to provide elegant lighting in large, spacious rooms like this.
So they had to gather every gem in the world just to illuminate one room?
It's probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light.
If I tried to hang something like that from the ceiling in the office, it would be scraping on the floor.
I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Naruhodo. I guess that's the counter. That desk is known as the hotel reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay.
Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there?
Yes, I'm sure it must be.
I'd love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like.
If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland.
True. London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning.
Yeah, that's any major city, I'm sorry to say. Not the bellboy, not the carpet. Moving over. The chandelier. Oh, there's some luggage.
Look at those cases just left there on that trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? I know I am.
Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything.
Oh, so it's a trap designed to catch any chancers who might be tempted. Why did the porter give me such a scathing look just now, do you suppose?
Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black clothes.
Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know.
Alright, back over this way then, where we can actually talk with them. Your journey from Japan!
So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. And then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience.
Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris!
We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. You're a close friend to the Professor of Forensic Science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Cosmo's father, I suppose. The Professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Nosugi.
Oh no, Genshin Impact.
Genshin?
You knew, I presume, Father.
Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I have never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland.
But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Cosmo growing up as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there.
Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know, but when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh? What? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo since turned up here in London working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What? What? That's news to us. So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then.
What is Lord Strongheart doing?
As you know, we both thought Cosmo had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January.
But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive, and here in London, you said. I never dared even to dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Cosmo's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him?
Your time in Britain.
That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin Nosugi, and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today. I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yuma University at the time, you know, young lady.
Yes, grandmother told me.
He went to do research at a Great London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground.
Yeah, so he worked in that facility. Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, no wonder they said that he knew Dr. Scythe.
Oh, not more talk of graves. Very often there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor, Caden, his name was? He was a good man. Yes, but then of course in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case, when Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yep, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long.
I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here.
Susato-san's gone off on a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh, no, I mean if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well... sadly, it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes, Susato-san hinted at something like that.
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. It was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. Ah, one other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm
sorry that took so long.
Miss Susato.
Now then, allow us to take your bags.
Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, porter. Oh, of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Oh, quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course.
He's so nervous. Oh, that's a cute photo. I was looking at it in the stream preview again. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think.
Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before... Professor Mikoto was about to ask me something.
Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us.
Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him.
Alright, away we go. Well, she said to go back to the suite, so let's do that. desk is there? Oh. Who took that? 1st of November, Sholmes' suite.
What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. Do you think? Could it have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not.
What? That's not a man, that's a child.
Okay. Well, I don't do it anymore. Mon ami, stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? Look at their hair, it's bright red.
I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes.
Right, you two, come with me now, down to the clink. No, not in prison. It's dark and damp and I don't like it. Buff the darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. Wait, but you are always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. Wait, I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. Now get moving.
Bye then, Ginny. Have fun.
Yeah, thanks, Iris, and thanks, you great detective.
What the fuck was that? Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie, I'm Bruno. Hello, Iris, we're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon.
Oh, yeah, totally. He's not dead.
Yes, of course.
Dr. John H. Wilson. I'm assuming that's Sholmes. So, Iris, all that remains now is that of the greatest problems known to man.
What the fuck? What is this Ronald McDonald-ass hair color? What is wrong with you?
But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows?
I'm glad they're all so shocked by this.
Is something wrong, Mrs. Naruhodo? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say.
Come along then, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend. It's time for tea. Whatever is going on here today?
In that case, let us sit and drink now, for I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today.
You know, I will stand, like, a lot of people thirst after Sholmes, like, oh my god, he's so hot. And I will say he does have a very pretty face.
But, like, that has just gone, like, into the negative degrees of, like, I don't care about this man after seeing that bright red hair. Jesus Christ. Failing managed to remember this behemoth's name, the Great Analytoscope.
I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it?
Oh, is that right?
Yes, because it was with the pawnbroker.
Of course.
Oh, that's given me a wonderful idea. I could pawn everything that's on your desk. The office would be tidy at last.
Don't even joke about it, Mrs. Sato. You are joking, aren't you?
Alright. Imagine most is going to be the same.
There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Looks as though it might topple, and yet it doesn't. The epitome of Mr. Sholmes' brilliance.
I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well practiced when it comes to stacking shelves myself. Just the other day, the shelf in my office finally gave way under the strain, though.
Looks as though it might topple, and it does. Yes, the epitome of your disarray.
I really don't get it.
And he's gonna misremember the name of Stradivarius, right?
This is Mr. Sholmes' famous violin, the one he found being sold for a song at a pawnbrokery. What's it called again? Shot is something.
Oh yes, this wonderful instrument features in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. It's a world-famous Stradivarius.
Strata what?
Stradivarius, Mr. Naruhodo.
Stradivore.
Are you even trying now?
We'll come back to this another time, I think.
Yep, same thing there. A newspaper. This looks like last week's edition.
What's that article circled in red ink there?
It's an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League."
The Red-Headed League? What's that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but...
Is something on my face? Clearly this has something to do with that. Lively hair.
The Red-Headed League article, an advertisement for the newspaper that's entitled "To the Red-Headed League." It seems somewhat suspicious in nature.
Hooey. Why is this man so ugly? I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Although, I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu. Putting your legs under a warm blanket at table is so comforting.
Do be careful, Miss Naruhodo. Don't mistakenly put your feet into the fire, will you? You'd suffer terrible burns, you know.
I worry sometimes about how Mr. Sato-san, or about how Susato-san sees me. Ah, yes, Mr. Shom's curious collection of trinkets from the various mysteries he's solved.
It's one of my favorite parts of this room, full of items with such exciting tales to tell, and I do believe he's added to it since I last looked. Now there's a mysterious pince nez, a mysterious little box, a mysterious horseshoe, a mysterious biscuit.
I think that last one might just be one of Iris's unfinished snacks.
And then, of course, the mask.
The mask Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zeeks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up.
We ought to give it back to him, I suppose.
But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself.
But isn't he your best friend?
Interesting. My eye's always drawn to this big metal chest that Mr. Sholmes and Iris use as a coffee table.
Isn't it where Iris keeps her very important papers?
It is, so you'd think that they'd treat it with more care, really. But only the other day I saw Mr. Sholmes kick it.
Oh no!
I suppose something must have been frustrating him.
What a shame to mistreat the furniture, though. Was it damaged?
Oh, the chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes.
Oh dear, that is a painful tale. And then the idea board. What's on the list today?
This blackboard is where Iris scribbles down her latest ideas, isn't it? Let's see. She seems to have drawn a lot of little stick figures all lined up. Look.
Cheap apples at the market is what all of them say.
What? The little figures can speak?
All your questions would be answered if only you would read this month's Rance magazine.
So I'm the only one who can't make any sense of this. Iris' pretty little tea set is set up beautifully as ever. Look.
Well, it's only by carefully taking care of a tea set that you can make good tea.
Is that a roundabout way of telling me I need to tidy my desk?
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you do overthink things at times. And the dangerous shelf. That's Iris' wonderful collection of medicines, potions, and chemicals. Just look at all the little bottles she squeezed onto the shelves.
Yes, and there are charming little ribbons tied around the bottles too. But the labels aren't quite so charming, are they? This one here reads deadly poison.
Oh, I've been so excited about the idea of helping Iris with her experiments, you know.
Just try to avoid any bottles labeled deadly poison, highly explosive, or highly explosive. There we go. I thought he was going to list one more. If I remember correctly, this large and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter.
To think that every single one of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes blossomed from this very machine. It's such a dreamy thought.
I actually had a go on it the other day. The metal bars that move when you hit the keys got all tangled up somehow, and that made Iris angry.
Miss Naruhodo, you're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Please don't do that again.
Now I made Susato-san angry as well.
Okay, that's that. Now we can finally converse. Your two visitors. Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before?
Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions.
When the mood takes you?
all manner of infractions. But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out.
Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes?
But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is constantly in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha, I have it. A bungler, that's the word. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads had been up to no good?
I wonder what the man did. And the greatest problem?
What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before?
Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly.
It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was nearly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops.
Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment of those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent! You know what? Alright, you brought it back, Sholmes. We can respect you again. Renting is a plague on society. Fuck landowners. All my homies hate landowners.
But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Dispels only the other day?
Pshaw, a large sum. One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you.
Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it.
Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least. And what was the answer? Why, there's a substantial clue. Before your very eyes.
Don't tell me. Let me see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There's one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think.
In the end?
It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation.
I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Miss Naruhodo.
Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer.
Real quick, let's examine this. To the Red-Headed League, on account of the bequest of the late Ezekiah Hopkins... Ezekiah? I don't know. Of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, USA, there is now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind and above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning of the 31st at the large park on Lime Street. £4 a week if you're a redhead, most fantastic money-making opportunity. What the fuck? Okay, whatever. Go ahead, pay people for being redheads. No lie you told.
Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us, I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. That case aboard the SS Buria in January. Cosmo wasn't killed. And you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible!
It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I'll be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh!
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Sholmes.
What was the purpose of that? A gross error of judgment. He knew he was unconscious. He silenced the crew with some sort of blackmail. Whose side is he on? I mean, he's been on our side, like... Ooh, sorry about the yawn. He's been on our side like 90% of the time. But who could have possibly given him those orders? I'm assuming there were orders at the very least. Well, let's just present this. Oh, right, we need to go specifically to the present option.
It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. To the Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learnt to apply my methods, Mrs. Naruhodo. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation! Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast?
The Red-Headed League.
So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled? You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me, honestly.
But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week?
But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
But surely every red-headed person in the country will be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I, just on the off chance.
That might be stretching a point, I think.
The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see.
Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mrs. Sholmes.
So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct! I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it. Did you not know that a redhead is someone with orange hair?
What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves, and in the course of my work I stumbled upon a potion that when taken turns one's hair aflame like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. No! I think I'll pass.
But Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Ah, amateurs are always hampered by such fears.
Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say?
But of course! To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely.
So anyway, Harley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street where the Red-Headed League was interviewing prospective new members.
So what went wrong? He had the wrong date, huh? Oh. The whole park was choked with red-headed folk like a coster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front, but when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?"
Yeah, of course they know you.
So naturally I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away!" After which I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police.
What?
Wait. Are they innocent? Sholmes?
Oh dear, what a disaster for Hurley and those two redheads. Mr. Sholmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today?
Indeed, Mrs. Soto, that is correct. Not another of those red-headed gentlemen that were here before. Not at all, they were petty villains. The guest I'm expecting is a client. Oh. A young gentlewoman who wishes to appoint the services of this great detective, no less.
Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Sholmes.
You must stay and observe the fashion in which a great detective receives his customers. Must we? I have you in my clutches now, Rent, just as I have you in my clutches, redheads. Ah ha ha ha!
That hearty laugh is masking rather sinister thoughts, I feel. No, the lady isn't due for another hour yet. Don't feel as though you must wait around if you have other things to do. You know what? Let's go see the Lord Chief Justice. Oh. Hi. I mean, on one hand, that's expected. On the other hand, that's ominous. The 1st November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office.
Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here?
Mike, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say?
This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. My apologies, I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress made you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure.
From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord, I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zeeks. I will attend at once.
Oh, this man's being blackmailed, isn't he? He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he?
I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Ah, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zieks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort, though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh. Missing? What's become of Kazuma-sama now?
Alright, it's 3:59, so I think we're going to save here. So that way we can pick up right with talking to Lord Strongheart the next time we stream. Right here on this next file. Alright, that is all for today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I know I've apologized several times for this already, but I really am sorry about the interruptions earlier. I'm gonna have to try and find some way to save all the VODs together because it was just so stop and go for a little while. I'll figure out something, I'm sure. For now, though, good afternoon, everyone, or good night, or good morning, wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye-bye.